We are about to see a full moon in the sign of Leo. That's going to happen on February 1st. So what a way to kick off the month of February. And this month will definitely be the one that is gonna change all of our lives quite unexpectedly. This full moon doesn't make any positive aspects towards other planets, only the opposition to, of course, the whole stellium in Aquarius, so where Pluto Mars is still going to be active for the latter part of this week. Also, we are about to see Uranus stationing direct on February the 4th. So there's a lot of chaos and instability and surprises and shocks on its way. And of course, the energy of the eclipse is also already like coming in right now. The eclipse is going to happen on February the 17th. And 3 days after that, we're going to see Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries at the world point axis. Bit worrisome, to be honest. The world point axis is something that is going to implicate the entire world. I've just read an article about this new virus in India, and it's like they're saying like these major headlines, all filled with fear porn, of course, that 40 or 70% that gets infected dies because of the virus. Now, Neptune deals with pandemics, and whenever we see Saturn Neptune in historic cycles, they have been connected to pandemics as well. So fingers crossed that it doesn't happen again, but it is not going to surprise me if it were to happen. So yeah, I know this is maybe a little bit of an intense intro, but we're tapping into the Mars-Pluto conjunction, and you've probably already noticed that very, very strongly around you. People who are not in touch with their shadow side, who are very unaware, wow, they have been making a big circus for sure, but I'm quite sure you already noticed that as well. So try not to fan the flames. We are in such a big shift right now. Neptune already shifted over into Aries. Saturn is about to do that on February the 14th as well. It is like God is making choices for us, and it's been pushing us in a whole different direction than what we were expected to be in. Uranus really is unexpected. Yeah, the fact that this one is going to come back online as well in the midst of this whole Aquarius stellium over which it rules. So yeah, a lot of instability in the world right now, a lot of chaos, and a lot of people who are not able to channel the intensity of Pluto Mars within their lives, and they're being a little bit of a pain in the ass, right? So yeah, a lot of anger, a lot of triggers, a lot of emotions up in the air right now, and a lot of people feel very destabilized. Just know that it's normal. And Neptune shifting signs as well. Neptune, it is about our dreams and also about our collective beliefs. So we've been stuck in the mud, we've been stuck in the fog for 14 years when it was in its home sign of Pisces. Well, now that's in Aries. Aries rules the face. Everything that was invisible now is like right up into our faces. Definitely when Saturn is about to join the party in Aries as well, quite soon. So we need to let go of a lot of our old dreams, and our lives are now all taking a very unexpected turn. And it might seem disastrous for some people, especially if you are very stuck or attached to the old ways of being, the old ways of doing things. If you're very attached to familiarity, then it is now a rather difficult time. Those who stay open-minded, have a curious mindset or like a curious approach towards everything that is happening right now, they are going to have an easier time. And Neptune changing signs, we are all collectively being pushed to let go of all dreams, but new ones are going to be forming, even if it's not completely, even if there's not clarity right now. Do not force clarity. Pluto Mars can very much be about wanting to force our will, force our darkness, force our shadow side. We are being forced to confront our shadow side under this aspect. And I'm seeing a lot of people really tapping into its more negative manifestation right now, unfortunately. It was to be expected. I've talked a lot about it in my weekly forecasts, but definitely on the world stage and in the news and in the headlines, it is very destabilizing. Just know that we are in a very, very big transition period right now. We are done with the old world, and when Saturn Neptune conjunct at 0 degrees of Aries, that is like the total collapse of old systems, all the things we used to rely upon within government structures, but also within the structures of our own life and our own identity. The sign of Aries, all of that is about to fully collapse, and now Saturn is asking us to rebuild. But step by step, guys, you cannot expect to leave behind the old world and immediately find yourself within this whole new set reality. Like, the future, it is undecided upon. We have our free will. We have the courage, with Neptune and Aries, and we now have the ability to really tap into the unseen realms, and that really guiding us in regards to setting a whole new path in front of us. So yeah, it's like, it is very, very interesting times we find ourselves in. Yeah, what a time to be alive, right? All these ingresses that we're going to see in 2026. But February, believe me, it is going to be the month that is about to change everything. So let's look at what I have for you today, guys. And if you have any insights of this video and you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, share this video with other astrology friends, and maybe give it a hype, or also leave me a comment to let me know how you guys are doing with this energy. So for today, the full moon in the sign of Leo. Of course, Leo, it is the sunshine. Luckily, there is more emphasis now with this full moon on joy and on warmth, on vitality. It is life force energy. It is also about emotional generosity and presence. The Leo is also the performer. So it is really about visibility, being able to express yourself in an unapologetic way. It's beautiful energy to tap into our creativity, to play, to have some joy, to be seen. But Leo is also very protective. So it's about loyalty and courage and leadership, but from the heart. Leo rules over the heart. It's also about defending what you love. So if you look at the chart for this full moon, it is pretty interesting. So, of course, leadership, a very, very big theme here in the chart. We can see Aquarius, the collective, versus Leo, the world leaders, the one who are in a position of authority and leadership. Authority, I know, is more Capricorn, but in Leo, it is also about world leaders, people on the world stage in a very high position. Rules over kings and queens, royalty, that is also part of Leo, and I expect a lot of drama within those realms, because Leo, it is a sign of drama, unfortunately, and with this whole Aquarius stellium, there is a lot of energy in the sky right now being triggered by this full moon. So full moons are always a time when emotions peak very highly, stories kind of reach a culmination or turning point, and it is going to be like full spotlight on the collective. The moon bounces back the light of the sun, and the Aquarius Leo axis is being majorly implicated right now. And also, this is going to be the last full moon in the sign of Leo before the eclipses are about to kick off in that axis for the next year and a half. I think the last eclipse in Aquarius is going to be in the beginning of 2028. This summer, on August the 12th, we're going to see a solar eclipse in the sign of Leo. So, of course, this is like an omen. This is about precursors, signs, sneak peeks about what is to come when the solar eclipses are going to kick off in Leo as well. So, of course, on the 17th of February, we already have the solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. The energy is already very, very present right now. That is why a lot of things feel very chaotic, very unstable, because it will square its ruler Uranus. And Uranus is about to come back online on the 4th of February. So, wow, there is like so many things happening all at once. And then Neptune already shifted signs. Now Saturn is at the end degrees of Pisces. Yeah, it is like a lot to deal with right now. So let me know how you guys are doing with the energy. Also, Leo is also about desire, what you truly love, what you're proud of, what you want to create, and where you're actually feeling tired of dimming your light for the sake of other people. And it is a full moon, so it is a release. We need to release keeping ourselves small. We need to release shrinking ourselves to keep others happy. And that is a very big lesson here during this full moon. So if you have planets between 12 or 14 degrees of Leo, you're going to feel this one immensely strong. And of course, also if you are a fixed sign, so of course Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, but also Aquarius, you are going to feel this quite strongly. So this is a very big spotlight moment. Leo is really about the spotlight, and it's really asking us right now, like, am I living from my heart, or am I purely performing for approval? And we need to let go of that. The South Node is about to ingress in Leo on July the 26th, and then there's a very big emphasis on releasing our performative ego. And now the teams are already getting like kicked in. So yeah, can be a very, very powerful reset around confidence that is fully earned, but you need to be careful not to become too inflated, but it needs to be very, very rooted in self-respect. Because with the Sun in Aquarius, there is such a big polarity during this full moon. There's a pile-up of planets in the sign of Aquarius still. And Leo is very much about my expression, my heart, my creativity, my joy. Aquarius is we the collective, us as a society, the future timelines coming in and getting triggered here as well. Aquarius is also about the grid and about technology, can be about blackouts with Uranus about to shift direct. It can also be about earthquakes, can be about a lot of chaos within our financial system, because Uranus is in Taurus. Taurus rules over our love and also finances. So yeah, there's just like a lot of upheaval within all of these regards and these themes within the next couple of weeks. So we can expect more upheaval within the tectonic plates, within volcanoes, earthquakes, big storms. Uranus, of course, is at its end degrees of Taurus. So yeah, the next couple of months, we're going to have the most severe storms and most severe bad weather that we've seen in our lifetimes. So I'm praying in regards to that for all the people who are affected by it. Like, look, as an example, look at Sicily. They had like a massive landslide. And if you've watched the 2026 tarot and astro predictions with JC and Janine, and you've probably heard me mentioning about the maps changing, the borders changing. It can also, of course, be because of the tectonic plates that are about to be triggered by Uranus at the end degrees of Taurus. Definitely severe cases of extreme weather that are upon us. So yeah, my heart goes out to the people who are affected by this in Sicily, because yeah, such a big landslide, it is unreal, and we are about to see a whole lot more of that, unfortunately. So Neptune at the world point axis, it dissolves all of these structures. Then Saturn comes in and builds new structures. It can also be about islands forming in sea, or like volcanoes erupting, that creating like fog. Neptune, when it reaches the water or touches the water, we see fog, we see then new islands being formed, Saturn creating a new structure within all of that. So definitely it's going to be a big theme this year with this conjunction. But we pray that everyone keeps safe and that it's not going to be too much or too big of a disaster. So let's cross our fingers. Of course, with all this Aquarian energy, there is a very, very big tension between our personal truth in Leo versus the collective pressure that we're facing right now. It's like a very big desire to be yourselves, but the fear raises like, will I still belong if I am fully myself? So that is really something that we need to, we need to really look into right now. So of course, Leo, royalty, kings, queens, celebrities, world leaders, the one who are on the big world stage, head of states, visibility, performance, reputation, pride and courage and confidence and ego. And of course, Leo, it likes to be seen, it likes to be celebrated, and you can really celebrate yourself right now, but make sure that you keep your ego in check with the Mars-Pluto conjunction at the other side of the wheel. Also, do not do something criminal or dark in order for you to feel justified to save the society in some kind of way. That can also be a theme. You can be so prideful and so convinced about your own truth, also with Neptune and Aries now, and Mars and Aquarius dispositing Neptune and Aries, conjunct Pluto. A lot of people can do some really fucked up things and then feel justified by their own sense of having the truth. It's not because you have the, like, there's a discussion if you're gonna have the full truth or not, but that's maybe for another video. Some people are going to be so convinced about, really embodying the truth or having the full truth that they're going to create a lot of upheaval and they're going to feel justified. Their actions are going to feel justified by their totally like convinced about doing the right thing, but it's actually creating more upheaval now with all these planets in Aquarius. So I want to like really mention that. And Leo, it is about confirmation and approval and confidence and letting yourself shine and being on stage. And I really like Leo a lot. They're so unapologetically themselves. But the shadow side of Leo is also really thriving or needing a lot of confirmation. And I think a lot of people are going to be confronted now with the fact that no matter how big the applause, it's still not going to fill the void within yourself right now. We are in such a big transition. No matter how much you get cheered on, no matter how much applause you receive, it is still not going to heal the parts that we really need to take care of ourselves. And that can feel quite confrontational because some people are having everything in the eyes of society. They have a good job, a good wife or husband, a beautiful car. All of that is very like, a little bit showing off is also part of Leo, but I kind of like it when people are confident and are not afraid to show themselves. But just be mindful about the shadow side of Leo, because if you celebrate yourself too much right now, then that can become like a disaster later. And definitely with the eclipses that are about to kick off here in the sign and the south node that is about to ingress here as well fully. So also, if you're doing well right now, I hope a lot of you are. If you're very happy and if you are in touch with yourself and with your inner child and with your creative, beautiful inner Leo archetype, then you can really trigger other people right now by being happy, by being joyful. Like a lot of people are struggling right now. A lot of people cannot handle the Mars-Pluto intensity. And if you're going to be frivolous and dancing, singing, moving through life right now, that can trigger a lot of upset people. So do not let them steal your sunshine when you're having a good time. It's their darkness, it's their shadow side, they need to deal with it, and you're not responsible for their happiness. You're only responsible for your own happiness. And that is also the sign of Leo. And a full moon, it is always some kind of release that happens. So if you release a lot of joy and a lot of creativity, and if you are like roaring it all out right now, people are going to get massively triggered, or groups of people are going to get massively triggered. Aquarius, it is the crowd. If you are an artist in some kind of way, and you show yourself in your unapologetic way of sense of self, then you might not get the applause you're expecting, because they can be like, oh wow, he's doing well and I'm struggling so much. And yeah, so just keep that in mind, and do not get bothered by it. Just keep playing, dancing, creating, as if you're just doing it for the gods. Like, I do not care about anyone's opinion apart the opinion from the gods. And if you can live within such a mindset, a lot really shifts within your life. And I think that is a very good way right now to handle all of the circumstances. And if you do your best, the gods are going to do the rest. So surrender to the uncertainty right now. Try to breathe through the chaos that is about to get more fully unleashed here with the solar eclipse soon. Do not attach to your familiarity or whatever makes you feel comfortable, because it is going to be taken away in some kind of place in your life, depending on where the Aquarius stellium right now is operating within your own natal chart. So it really pays off to look at your own chart, to look at the Aquarius house, or the house that Aquarius is found. Look at the house where Aries is located, and also look at where the full moon is happening right now. These are all major points of activation. And then we have Uranus coming back online as well. So there's so much things switching right now and happening that, when we all tie it together, it is really about stepping into this new future timeline, but it can be very destabilizing. And it's okay not to have all the answers right now. I think that's the whole purpose of the year of 2026. So yeah. If you then look more into the chart, the whole Mars-Pluto conjunction here, it is also tied or like baked into this full moon. Increased risk of force, coercion, intimidation, intensified the battles around surveillance, around technology, around automation, AI, control, high focus here as well on military power. It is a lot to handle right now. And then Mercury is starting to square off with Uranus, and all the other planets are going to follow later. So this full moon, it is not going to show a resolution, but it is going to show a lot of exposure. So the South Node will go through Leo, Pluto remains in Aquarius, Jupiter and Mars are later in the year going to activate Leo as well. And the eclipses are about to play off in these two signs here. So what looks inflated right now is going to become very unsustainable quite soon. And it's about purging a lot of it as well. Full moons are about releases. So in the next few weeks, we are going to see dramatic rises of power and dramatic falls of power. People really stepping down or being taken out, or like we are in for a couple of surprises for sure. This is also about like exposure of hypocrisy that really needs to stop as well. And also, the dismantling of false authority in a very profound kind of way. So of course, Leo is the ruler, the face of power. Aquarius is the collective, the population, all the invisible systems that tie us together. And there is a very big standoff between the individual authority, Leo, and our collective will right now. And look where all the power is residing. It is residing in the collective will right now. So we're entering a whole new prolonged era where the Aquarius-Leo axis is going to totally dominate all the global events, because Pluto stays in Aquarius for the next 20 years. It is until 2044. And every time all the planets entering Aquarius are always going to conjunct Pluto. Now, It's not going to be as intense as this one, but definitely every 2 years, Mars is going to conjunct Pluto and Aquarius. So the energy is here for the next couple of years, 20 years or so. So yeah, Jupiter and Mars moving through Leo. Jupiter will enter the sign of Leo on June the 30th, and then the South Node on July the 26th. So very big emphasis on the sign of Leo here for the next 2 years. So yeah, this is really Neptune and Aries also, a lot of fuel on the fire right now. And this is a new 14-year cycle and intensified beliefs of self. And of course, if you have a healthy sense of self, then now you really can tap into the energy to make your dreams come true. Neptune is imagination, Saturn is putting structure underneath all of that. But if you do not have a healthy sense of self, then yeah, you can justify your own righteousness right now, and that's creating a lot of ideological battles. It's really like I act on what I believe energy. So yeah, Pisces dissolved a lot of boundaries. Now Aries is going to assert them quite strongly. Very active new era that is being kicked off here. It is not about passiveness at all anymore, but definitely if we then look at the degree of this moon, it is at 13 degrees, which is an Aries degree. So there is like a Martian undertone within this already feisty full moon. So Aries, it is about boldness, speed, bravery, a lot of decisive actions, bluntness, conflict, war, can be a very big now or never kind of feeling. Do not fall into the trap that you're running short on time, because time is increasing, and when time increases, we slow down, not the other way around. Otherwise, we're going to get in some kind of difficult situation. So a very big symbolism of military underneath this full moon. It is about uniforms, 13 degrees, weaponry, conflict within the headlines, really things coming to a head, and Aries rules the head. And yeah, this really, we can expect so many new bold statements by leaders, demonstrations where there is force used by the people and also about the military. A lot of public confrontations here and a lot of visible escalations of tensions. And you do not, of course, you do not need to be an astrologer to witness all of that right now. So really also a very big moment here where we stop tolerating like a slow bleed within our draining dynamics, within like uninspiring work and muted self-expression. We're like this in this collective moment of like we are done kind of energy. So yeah, there is a very big push to take action, to speak up, but we really need to channel all of the intensity into purpose and do not fall victim to impulsivity. And also, because I'm now mentioning the word victim, Neptune was in Pisces, like the victim mentality, it is over. Saturn is at the end degrees. If you're going to tap into the victim mentality right now, you're going to have consequences here with Saturn. So, of course, 13 degrees, an Aries degree, it is also tied towards the head and the face. Heat, inflammation, cut, burns, adrenaline. So really, choose conscious courage over reactive aggression. I see so many people right now blowing up their own life with hatred, with revenge, with jealousy, with not being able to look in a mirror. And I would really strongly advise you to not make enemies during this time. We really need to come together. We need to bridge the gaps. And I know it's very difficult to do that when Mars and Pluto are together, but I see so many frustrated people. Normally, I do not get affected by it quite strongly, but I've noticed the last couple of days that I really needed to focus on my breath, that I needed to protect myself and put myself in a very big white bubble of like white light, golden light, Whenever I went on the road, people are having such a big road rage. It is incredible. And I'm like, wow, if just more people were like aware about the destructive forces that are happening within the skies right now. And this is then the part where I really like to do my job now, to really tell you more about it, because I feel if you're forewarned, you are forearmed. But even like I was telling my boyfriend so much about the Pluto bars, and on the 27th he woke up, and the first thing that came to his head was like, okay, today we are having the Pluto Mars conjunction. I need to be careful. And I actually just totally forgot, and I woke up and I got triggered by something, and I was like, oh wow, okay, I need to like be mindful today. But it's so funny because I can tell it, I can tell so much about it, but he was like way more aware of it than even myself. It's all, of course, only the first couple of moments when you wake up, you're still like getting back to this earth from the astral planes. But still, I was like, okay, wow, he's really like taking my advice into consideration even more than myself. So that was actually kind of funny. But in that way, when you have someone around you where you can talk astrology with, they can also like help you to remember certain things, because sometimes we are getting so overwhelmed in the heat of the moment. And I think the heat of the moment is very tied to Mars Pluto, and it's in the heat of the moment that we forget all of the tools that are being handed to us. We can do breath work. You can like push a certain place here on your wrist, and if you really focus on the breath, and if you push this, I was gonna say button, but if you push this place, it is like a triggering or a trigger for your immune system to calm down. But when we get overwhelmed with all of the intensity, we forget our toolbox, and then it's very handy to have someone around you to like remind you on the toolbox, because when rage overtakes you, then there's no sight of the toolbox. And I think that is something that is really like a very big work in progress, and it takes so much practice and dedication over time. And if you have someone around you that can remind you about the energy, then that is really helpful as well. So yeah, we're gonna see so much more protests here because Leo is about roaring, and then the whole Aquarian stellium. But yeah, just let's look at the Sabian symbol for today, because it's actually a beautiful one, and there's a human soul awaiting opportunity for expression. So it speaks of the creative life force that is gathering itself, and it is maybe waiting, not in fear with Mars and Pluto, but in readiness. And if you tap into the beautiful energy of Mars Pluto, it is really about having this immense, strong willpower to go for the things that you want in life. It can be very helpful if you need to break toxic cycles. So yeah, I hope you guys are being able to tap into the beautiful energy, because it's not all doom and gloom. This is just a very, very big change right now. And it's also like, this one here, it is like the soul that knows it was like born to shine, even if the stage hasn't appeared just yet. And expression, it is not forced here, it is timed, it waits its divine timing here, and it really waits for the moment when presence matters, and when your expression, Leo, really becomes meaningful rather than performative or forced. So it is not about impatient. This is not impatient. It is actually divine timing, creative dignity as well, and a very deep inner knowing of your own talent, purpose, and your leadership skills, and being able to present them at the right time, and doing that in a very tactful, smart kind of way. So now the heart here gets really massively charged, and there's a very big tension between visibility and readiness as well. So you can look at it as like the artist that is waiting in the backstage just before like the curtain lifts, and then your moment comes to shine. And it's also the performer who already like feels the fire before the applause happens. So of course, it also, yeah, the soul here, because it's about the human soul, the soul, it waits until it feels safe enough to be seen, worthy enough to be witnessed, and strong enough to really hold all of the collective responses. But you do not need to chase the spotlight. Your own radiance and your own self-belief is going to create that automatically. So this is really the moment the moment the Sabian symbol arrives. It is expression, and it is very effortless, and it can be magnetic. And the waiting here, it is not about doubt, it is actually about alignment here. So I really think this is a very beautiful Sabian symbol for this full moon. The fact that like expression is even within it. It correlates so beautifully with Leo. So yeah, magnificent. All right, if we then look quickly at the aspects, of course, we see Mercury square Uranus. This is where we get a lot of news headlines about technology, about the collective, about protests, around groups of people, and that creating instability here on Earth within our financial systems. Also, very big emphasis on environmentalism. So yeah, Mother Gaia is gonna roar during this time. Full moon in Leo, whole Aquarius stellium squaring off with Uranus, Uranus in the sign of Mother Gaia. We can expect some surprises for sure, but also in a collective way, we can have a very big nervous system overload right now, because Aquarius and Uranus, they signature speed, and everything is speeding up right now. And Leo, in return, it asks you to connect with your body, with your heart. Uranus is also in the sign of Taurus. Taurus rules over our body as well. It rules over nature. So really, yeah, walk barefoot, go hiking, clear your mind, calm down the nervous system. Whenever Uranus switches back direct, like a week in advance, it is most powerful. So yeah, do not let your mind like spiral, and do not let your ego compensate for everything. So yeah, very big collective agitation, very strong public opinions. The moon rules over the public when it opposes the society, the sign of Aquarius, which signifies society. We can expect a whole lot of roaring within we as the people, and people are going to react more loudly, more emotionally, maybe more theatrically. We need to be mindful about that. But yeah, we're going to see some new policies kicking in regards to technologies, and people are going to be revolting quite strongly to it. You can already see it about like the kill switches within the cars in the US and Canada as well. There are some major things being revealed right now. Also during the Davos meetings, more about that is coming soon as well. So yeah, look at Macron with his sunglasses. I mean, like, oh my God. Like, I'm actually, honestly, I'm getting a little bit tired of the whole circus, to be honest. Whenever the South Node comes into the sign of Leo, I'm wondering how the world stage is going to be reacting to that, because there's going to be consequences to such a stupidity of behavior within these world leaders. It is actually like the fact that these people are like running the world. It is insanity. It is absurd. There is like no word in the dictionary that even correlates to the behavior some of the world leaders really are putting forward right now, and this madness. And the solar eclipse in Leo this summer, prepare yourselves, because with Jupiter entering Leo by the end of June, the world stage, the circus, it will all be taken to like the next level. We are in for some treats, so grab your popcorn. You can like order a bunch of that, because we're gonna be able to use that for sure. So also, there can also be very big headliners in regards to sports and competitions, or like major events going on in like the sports scene. 13 degrees of Aries, Leo, people on stage connected to sports. There can be some upheaval in that as well. And also, maybe for a lot of people, this is going to be like the moment where you're going to be done hiding. And of course, Leo also puts an emphasis on romance, on children, on loyalty, visibility, leisure time, really having fun and letting your hair down, and just make some room for, yeah, relaxation during this time as well. And do not wait for permission to shine. As long as you let other people shine, you can take your moment in the spotlight. Celebrate yourself, go on a romantic date, do some fun activities with your children. That is really the way how to work with the energy. If we then look at the full moon for the US, that's actually quite interesting. The moon is actually happening fairly close towards the North Node, so their path of destiny. The North Node is actually what we need to lean into, what we need to work on, where we are being called by the universe, this fate, destiny in a very big way. So a full moon in the same, the same sign of the North Node, very distant, intense things are about to happen and kick off because it's in the 8th house of intensity. And it's also in regards to taxes and finances, and especially shared finances. And if we look at from a whole sign perspective, like I do for you when I read the 12 signs, then it's actually in the 9th house of foreign affairs. 7, 8, 9. Yes, I'm correct. So the 9th house it also deals with like foreign policies, foreign connections, foreign countries that work together, and something is going to see a release, a big intense release. Also worth to mention is that Uranus here, you can see it in Taurus. Uranus is squaring off with the moon. The moon in the chart of the US resembles the people. Uranus going back direct at the exact same degree of the moon of the US chart, that is like massive. This is like the last big volatile shock that the people of the US are gonna be getting here with Uranus switching back online. And of course, there are more around the corner whenever Uranus is whenever you're gonna have your Uranus return, but more on that later. Right now, and especially for the last 2-3 years, Uranus has been hovering over the final degrees of Taurus, and each and every time it has been making a square towards the moon, and it's been very uncomfortable, very restless for the people who are living inside of the States. And now on February the 4th, it's going to do that for the last time. So very big emphasis. While all of the planets in Aquarius are about to go over the moon as well. So here in the chart, we can see Mars conjunct the South Node. The South Node is things about the past. The South Node also indicates a very big release. So having Mars on the South Node, it is either about conflict being released, but I don't think it's going to be in regards to that. My interpretation here is that conflicts from the past are going to create a lot of chaos and instability during the coming times. We can also see Pluto about to go onto the South Node, and if I remember correctly, the Pluto is going to go up until 5-6 degrees this year, not 7, but in 2027 it will be up until 7. But still, there is a very big emphasis on Pluto conjunct the South Node, and it's also about hidden power, the deep state, past power from the power from the past being released. Pluto is a very intense planet. Whenever it conjuncts the South Node, that is a very, very intense time. Can be about leadership that falls away as well. This is not easy energy. If we then look at the chart for the president, then Uranus here plays another very, very big factor here in this chart, because the last time Uranus, and I haven't mentioned this before, but Uranus is actually about to station direct on Algol, and Algol is the demon star. Now, I do not want to talk too much about it because it tends to install fear in a lot of people, and I'm not here to do that in any kind of way. But Algol, it is a very intense fixed demon star. It can also be about wealth. So it's not all doom and gloom, but still, the last time Uranus was conjunct Algol, that was during the summer of 2025, when we saw the unaliving attempt at Butler, Pennsylvania. Uranus now is going to station direct again on Algol's demon star, and it's squaring Mars conjunct the rising here. Uranus square Mars, really big emphasis on accidents, threats, hidden enemies. Mars is within the 12th house. Uranus making a square on that. Uranus on the MC, the most biblical or very public known part of the chart. It is about reputation. It is about legacy. It is about leadership position. And that's squaring off with the rising and with Mars. Very big unstable energy being projected here at the rising sign, and the rising sign indicates the body. So Mars on the rising sign can also give like inflammations or aggression projected onto others or receiving from other people. Uranus is very unpredictable. It is very difficult to predict anything with Uranus, because Uranus is about insights that are outside of our conscious brain. It gives insights, very sudden, very unexpected, things that we cannot even wrap our heads around. So that is about to be very major here. A full moon in Leo conjunct his Pluto in the 12th house. Pluto is the most intense planet of our entire zodiac wheel. It is about death and rebirth and transformation. It is also, again, about hidden enemies here. If you look at the opposition, like at the other side of the chart, at the Aquarius stellium, it has been going through his 6th house of health. If you look at from a whole sign perspective, then the whole entire Aquarius stellium is going through his 7th house of open enemies. So there is a very big emphasis here on hidden and open enemies and confrontations with them in a very intense, shocking, unexpected kind of way. So yeah, it is actually very intense. Lilith conjunct Black Moon Lilith. Yeah, not backing down, not having no for an answer. Jupiter squaring Chiron and Jupiter. Wow. It's Jupiter squared Jupiter, it just inflates everything. So yeah, not easy energy to deal with. I think I cannot say too much here. I think I said the most important things, but also when we have a full moon in the 12th house, there is also an emphasis on mental health and sometimes having to isolate or withdraw, needing more rest, needing more, yeah, it's just like the emphasis can also be divine intervention, connecting with the unseen realms, with our spirit guides. That is all part of the 12th house. But because he's a Leo, his sun rules over, like, he is a Gemini, but because he is a Leo rising, the sun is his chart ruler, and the sun also rules over Leo. So his sun rules over the 12th house, but also the 1st house. So when a sun rules over the 12th house, there is also a very big emphasis when we have a full moon in the same sign about patterns of self-sabotage. My sun also rules over the 12th house. So I'm very familiar with the kind of energy, and it can be a time where you're really confronted with self-sabotaging behavior. And in this case, it can be about roaring too loud in some kind of way, and some hidden enemies trying to cause a lot of harm and even death and rebirth within your identity here, because it's under the sign, on the planet of power here, Pluto. Yeah, full or new moons on planet Pluto. It's not something that we're waiting for. Then JD Vance, he also has Leo rising, very interesting. And also RFK Jr. also has a Leo rising. Yeah, like all the big boys in the Trump administration, they all have a Leo rising, which is very, very striking to me. And even more striking as we are having all these eclipses kicking off in the sign of Leo. So yeah, as I already mentioned, whatever gets triggered now is going to be a very big emphasis on what's to come. We're going to have some omens and sneak peeks into the future, into the summer right now. So again, the same themes are getting kicked off here for JD Vance, but for him, it happens on his sun. So the sun, leadership, core identity, purpose also. But what's striking to me, honestly, is that Uranus at the top of the chart, of course, as well, with the Leo rising, it is also about to go direct. But on April the 26th, Uranus is about to switch over into the sign of Gemini. So over the summer, guys, I know a lot of people are going to be triggered by what I'm going to say, but over the summer, Uranus is about to conjunct his North Node. So JD Vance's North Node is within the 10th house. The 10th house, public, being on stage, authority, the government, public speaking, all of that is going to be massively triggered. So Uranus onto the North Node, there's going to be a very big breakthrough within his destiny in regards to being on stage and being in an authority position and being maybe the president. Like, I'm just gonna like throw it out there, and I know a lot of you guys are not gonna be happy with me hearing me say it, but also note that I'm not a fan of JD Vance. His connection to Peter Thiel is very worrisome to me, and Uranus also rules about technology and the whole big tech boys that came forward last year. It could also be about a very big breakthrough in that as well, of course. So yeah, not all, I don't want to cause more upheaval than necessary right now, but still I want to like put an emphasis on that, because we are about to have like a full a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Leo on the 12th of August. So that will be on 20 degrees. And 20 degrees, it is a Scorpio degree. It can indicate royalness, presidents, and death and rebirth, and really passing away or crossing over with the Scorpio degree. So it's going to be a very intense eclipse during the summer for the whole entire world stage. For JD Vance, the eclipse is going to fall on his Venus here behind the scenes in the 12th house. Venus is really like, also hidden money, and then can also even be hidden love affairs, but I'm not gonna go too big into like the whole drama, because I honestly also do not care. But yeah, there is something major here that is about to kick off in the summer. And if you then look at this chart, the eclipse will be very close towards his Mars again. Yeah, this is looking quite intense, guys. Let me know how you're feeling about all of this. What are your thoughts on all of this? Just know whenever there's a full moon within the 12th house, it is a time of feeling more tired, feeling more confused. It is about unconscious patterns being triggered. And you guys already know that, like, if you have been following my readings for the 12 signs for quite some time, then you actually already know that I'm saying the same things as if I was reading for your personal horoscope. So I'm not like trying to put fire on the fuel. I am not here picking any side. It's already decided by the gods, by the astrology, by the divine timing. I do not have anything to say in all of that. So I want to make that clear, that I'm just like reading this as I would be reading it for you. So, and sometimes the truth can be a little bit intense, and I need to be careful with how I word things online here, because Mars, Pluto, I do not want to make people pissed off or upset in any kind of way. But Saturn, Neptune are about to come together in Aries, and it is about reality slaps as well. So here you can see RFK Jr.'s chart. Because he's an early degree Leo rising, he's going to have it in the first house. So it's not so dramatic, actually, as the other two charts. I really like RFK and the things he's doing. He seems like a very genuine guy. So Mars Pluto, on the other hand, it is right on his descendant. Can be also about confrontations with open enemies here and having to defend yourself in some kind of way. I can also see that the full moon is going to square off with his Saturn and Mars within the 4th house, and the whole Aquarius stellium is doing that as well. So for him personally, it's more going to play out in regards to rewiring his identity in connection to his home, his family, and the people that he lives with together. And there can actually be some intense stuff coming up in regards to his family, or even in regards to his mother. I don't know if she's still on this earthly plane or not. I do not know very much about his background. Only that he used to struggle with addiction back in the day, and that we can see by Uranus, Moon, and South Node in his 12th house. And Jupiter has been healing that now. He is actually being protected by the gods, by the ancestral realms. He's being protected by the unseen realms, and all of the 12th house matters. So protected against addiction, hidden enemies, mental health issues, all of that. And whenever Jupiter crosses over the South Node and Uranus, it's going to really also trigger like a lot of wisdom from his past lives is going to come back into his unconscious programming as well. Luckily, I can see Jupiter also trining the Mars and Saturn in the 4th house. So I think his chart looks the best of all, honestly. You can see it here, a lot of blue lines and protection in the 12th house. That looks very, very good. Even though he also has his Pluto and Leo, of course, and everyone from the same generation is having that. Also, of course, depending, like, yeah, the Pluto and Leo generation, it is like people, yeah, it is a time span of over 20 years. So it's actually 2 generations, but I'm digressing. So yeah, full moon in the 1st house, something within his identities is being released in some kind of way, and can be in positive regards as well. All right, how to work with the energy. Live, dance, love, sing, create, paint, do ceramics, or do you say pottery? Create something. The 5th house and Leo, it is the place where things get born. So create something. You can even create a baby, as Leo also rules over children. So maybe that is going to be the best way to channel this feisty energy of Pluto, Mars, full moon in Leo, Uranus about to station direct. Just like go fight it off in the bedroom instead of like agitating other people, and we're all going to be very welcome and happy if you do that. So that was my Aries speaking. All right. We're going to start with the 12 signs, and of course, we are about to start with Aries. I'm going too fast, actually. There is something else I want to mention. This full moon is also triggering the Pluto and the chart of NATO and the chart in the Middle East that starts with I and ends on L, if you know what I mean. The full moon is also going to fully conjunct the Mars of China. So yeah, that doesn't look good. But also, it's going to conjunct the moon of Zelensky as well. And the moon, it also is, of course, about his emotions, but I do not give a flying F about Zelensky's emotions. It's also about the people within his own country. And when a full moon affects his own moon, there's going to be a very big emphasis on that as well. So yeah, I just wanted to like quickly mention that, because a lot of mundane charts are actually getting triggered here during the next couple of weeks, and then also especially during the Aries stellium in April. like NATO has a stellium in Aries, and a stellium over a stellium, that is going to be a lot. And I think also that that might be the time or an indication where some important player is going to leave NATO, and that creating a lot of upheaval in some kind of way. Yeah, that is going to be for April, and it's also in the cards. But yeah, let's keep it a little bit positive as well. I know this is like a lot of intensity that we need to go through right now, but it's going to get better over the summer. And definitely do not let all the problems on the world stage really interfere with your own emotions too much and with your own personal life, because a full moon in Leo can be very positive for your own personal life and detach a little bit from the world stage. Aquarius is also about detachment, so and I almost forgot to mention it, but the crystal for Leo is, of course, the sunstone. Very beautiful. Oh, actually, I'm wearing one today. I forgot. This is the sunstone. I don't know if you can see it. So yeah, it's actually one of my favorites. All right, we're gonna start with, of course, my dear fellow Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are going to have a very cool full moon. It's in your 5th house. Of course, if you're an Aries rising, you have the traditional house. It's set, the system is set in the traditional way if you're an Aries rising. So, of course, in the 5th house of joy, it is the most expressive, joyful, and creative part of your chart. This is not quiet or subtle, but we all know you are not one of that. So like, you're not quiet, you're not subtle. So but this one is really about like heart-centered awakening, and it also acts as like a preview of themes that will keep developing over the next 6 months until we have like the new moon in Leo. So this is really about reclaiming joy without apology. It's about pleasure, creativity, romance, play, self-expression. These themes are very, very essential. And it's really about letting yourself have access to the things that you want without filtering through all of the social expectations within your 11th house. Do not shrink under the group pressure. There is also maybe a release in long-term goals that actually quietly drain your enthusiasm. Something might be shifting in that, or some kind of big creative project sees some kind of release or like a culmination. So there is this ongoing intensity in the 11th house between like your personal passion and all the collective demands. And you might feel a little bit pulled between what lights you up and what others expect from you. Such a big emphasis on friends, communities, long-term aspirations. And the lesson here is not to abandon either side, but really stop sacrificing your spark just to stay socially aligned, or like to have a sense of belonging. Maybe something in that needs to be released. Also release performative ego. You can be a little bit more outspoken, you can be a little bit more roaring during this time, but as it makes a trine towards your sun, moon, or rising, it will be for the positive and it will be beneficial. And I think people are gonna accept or applaud your increased visibility or self-expression in some kind of way, because I think a lot of people from the 11th house are going to be resonating with what you are bringing to the table right now. If you have children, that is a very strong resonance here with the full moon. Your emotional awareness around them also deepens, and there is really a very big connection here in regards to pride, feeling proud of something, present yourself in some kind of way. The 5th is also about creative projects, romantic developments, hobbies, leisure time, maybe some kind of risks that you've been wanting to take. Now would be a good time to do that. So yeah, it could also be a very cool date that you guys are going to embark upon. It can be about friends that introduce you to someone you are going to romantically fall in love with. I think especially over the summer, but you already can get to meet them right now. But then with the solar eclipse within your fifth during the summer, that is gonna be a wild summer for you, my dear Aries. And I'm actually looking forward to it, even though I am sun sign Aries, but the eclipses are gonna trine the sun. So yeah, it's just really positive. The fifth house, this is about the things that are making your heart sing. So choose pleasure over obligation also during this time, and also allow yourself to be seen for what you genuinely enjoy, and do not be ashamed. Do not suppress your own sunshine. Like the sun is exalted, and Aries, I know you guys like to shine as well, just as my dear fellow fire Leo sun signs, and it complements really well. All of my best friends are, and even my boyfriend are Leo. So because it is the fifth house of fun and romance and just creating things together, and let something be born from your creativity in any kind of way. Be careful. If you do not want to be pregnant, take precautions. If you do want to create a very beautiful mini-me on this earth, then this could be the time where you receive some very pleasant news in regards to that. So also with the whole emphasis on the 11th, which groups are actually nourishing your creativity, and you can even enter a whole new group or a whole new community that is going to boost that, and you're going to feel very welcomed in. Just be careful, some friends might be a little bit more reactive towards you with the Sun Pluto Mars conjunction. So yeah, also this is really like the green light for having a good time, for engaging in pleasure and bold new activities. So yeah, just enjoy that, my dear Aries. We have Taurus and moon or rising. You are going to have a full moon in Leo in the fourth house. So the fourth house, it is about home, family, roots, your emotional security, your inner life, and also the place where you like retreat into when the world becomes a little bit too loud. I think that is definitely the case for you, my dear Taurus, because this whole Aquarian stellium is going through your 10th house of job, being publicly seen, your reputation, your vocation, your legacy. I've already mentioned that, I guess, but still, the 10th house is very busy. It's really also about self-employment. If you want to start your own business, then this is the time, guys. Go all in. You can even be working from home now with the full moon in fourth opposing the 10th. So very big push and pull dynamic between your private and your public life, between like emotional fulfillment and external success. So yeah, this is really like the fourth house. Emotions tend to rise from like the depths also. It's in regards to your upbringing, some very big release or some kind of tears could be shed at home, or maybe in regards to family. Very big focus and emphasis on family. If they are a little bit more feisty, then it's because of this full moon. So of course your public role is also demanding a lot from you, and I think many Tauruses want to cocoon, hide a little bit under the blanket. Uranus is about to station back direct in your sign on February the 4th, and that is going to be for the final time. It's going to leave your sign by the end of April, and I think this will be a very, very lucky change, relief coming in. The whole Aquarian stellium is squaring your Uranus in your sign, so yeah, this is like about a whole new identity coming forth off of your new job, maybe new career, maybe new boss, new colleagues. There is a lot changing, and definitely if you have your own business or if you're like an entrepreneur or something like that. And also know that success, it cannot be sustained at the cost of your emotional stability, and really balance it out. All the Aquarian energy through your 10th house can also be about implementing new technology in which you have more freedom to be at home and spend more time at home with your family. So yeah, really about This is an emotional one because it squares you off. It squares your sun, moon, or rising, and it happens in the fourth. It is the house of emotions, a full moon there. Your emotions are going to be extra loud during this time. So, yeah, there is also more awareness about where you play too small publicly in order to feel safely within your private realms within the fourth house. Maybe something in that is going to be released. So, where do you hold back out of fear of exposure, and where does comfort, fourth house, actually turn into stagnation, and you need to focus on the breakthroughs in your career right now? So yeah, what kind of visibility would feel nourishing, and you can really step into the spotlights right now. Do not hide at home with all Aquarian stellium in your tent, but really make sure you have a healthy balance, because it really invites you to build a public life in the tent that doesn't violate or like restrict your inner world and your emotions. So it's really about aligning your roots with your ambitions and safety with presenting yourself in a very public way. Can be a very big breakthrough here in your career, guys. Let me know how you are doing with it. We have Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're gonna have the full moon in Leo in your oh my god, no, this is the chart of Taurus still. So I've made a mistake, and here is Cancer. So yeah, Gemini, I'm very sorry, but this is the chart of Taurus rising. You just need to look at it like this, and yeah, it is just like one of those days today, but you've probably already like felt it in my energy, right? Tomorrow is another day. Just look at your chart like this from the perspective of Gemini rising, and you actually have the full moon within your third house, and the whole Aquarius stellium is within the ninth house. So you just need to do it like this a little bit. So the third house, it is about language, writing, teaching, the media, your voice, your daily environment, your siblings, your neighbors, and your local or immediate community. So yeah, this is really about adding a lot of confidence and visibility within those realms. And of course, with this whole Aquarian stellium within your ninth house, it is really, yeah, about your belief systems and your worldview and higher wisdom, higher education, philosophy, publishing, traveling, finding meaning in life. It is all hugely triggered right now. So between, yeah, there is a very big polarity between your everyday voice in the third and your larger perspective on life in the ninth. And whatever you learn now, or with the full moon in the third, you can complete a lesson or some kind of education or study. This is really about like completing something. And with all of that knowledge, you can integrate that into the ninth house within your worldview, but also within teaching something or being of guidance to someone. People can come up to you. Definitely big groups of people can come up to you looking for guidance, or you looking for groups of people for guidance. It can work vice versa, depending on your chart. Definitely full moon in the third house, your voice can be really, really roaring out loud. Be sure not to roar too loud here with the third house activated. Your throat chakra is really like it's, yeah, let me know how you're doing it with it. Like, stop filtering your voice so much through objectivity, or stop shrinking your voice, but also instead you need to not roar but really speak from the heart in the sign of Leo. So yeah, very emotionally invested right now in what you're saying, writing, sharing, and your words hold more power right now. It is perfect for blogging, podcasting, updating your email list, making an announcement, sharing something. All of that is going to be received well here. Also very good for like writing projects and marketing, publishing, content creation, all of that. But definitely There's a very big polarity between your familiar environments within the third and expanding your horizons in the ninth. It would be a perfect time to even make a short or long distance journey, and that is also going to help you. So yeah, the third house, study something new, teach or publish something new in regards from your new perspective, travel, planet travel, redefine what you believe in and also why, and having the right words to speak about them and sharing your knowledge. So yeah, you don't need to abandon who you are in order to grow. So yeah, just like believe in yourself now with Neptune and Aries. And yeah, that is of course happening in your 11th house. So within groups of people, your voice can be shining brighter within those realms as well. So yeah, let me know how you're doing with that and focus on all the third house themes. And also be mindful on the road, because Pluto Mars opposing your third house can be a little bit more accident prone on the road as well. So be mindful of that. Good luck, my dear Gemini. We have Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So Cancer, the Leo full moon, it is going to activate your second house. And this is about your skills, your talents, your self-worth, your money, your resources, and also what gives you like a sense of safety and stability and security. All of these themes are getting massively lit up right now. And look at the other side of the wheel. Such a big Aquarius stellium. This is really about, yeah, the 8th house. It is about shared resources, debts, investments, taxes, also inheritances, emotional entanglements, financial, sexual entanglements. It's also about like the deeper energetic bonds with other people. So this is really a very big emphasis on what's mine versus what's yours or what's shared between us. And it's really about, is it in balance? How much do I bring to the table versus what I receive in return, and balancing that out. Very big spotlight on the financial axis here for you. And remember, Cancer, you're going to have eclipses playing out in these houses this year up until the beginning of 2028. So this is going to be a precursor about what the solar eclipse in Leo is about to bring in the summer. So yeah, redefine your sense of value, and what do you value and what makes you feel safe and secure, and which parts of yourself need more respect, need more fun, need more creativity, and really tapping into your creative talents and completing something in regards to that. So this could either give like a new stream of income, a big bill, can be a big unexpected bill with Uranus going back direct, squaring off to the 8th house, squaring off to the 2nd house. Can be a lot of financial surprises. So make sure to, yeah, take that into account. It's also about like releasing something about survival mode, and also choosing when and how you give instead of like operating from obligation or like fear of loss. Such a big stellium through the 8th house. It can trigger your most intense fears, but it is to empower you, not to punish you in some kind of way. But be careful. If you make a big purchase, make sure you keep the receipts. If you do make big investments right now, it might be wise to consult a financial astrologer or a financial advisor or someone who can guide you, because it's important now. If this Pluto Mars makes a bad aspect to other planets of yours, then that is not the best time for investment. So I'm just like throwing that out there and giving you guys a little heads up in regards to that. But yeah, when you lead from your values within the 2nd house, then the right people are gonna come in to help you and offer you support within the 8th house, without you like having to chase or prove anything or proving your worth within the 2nd house. No, there is a release in that, and you are beautiful and good the way you are. Just keep in mind that it is in the financial axis. So good luck, my dear Cancer. We have Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Oh, Leo, you are the star of today's show and the star of the solar eclipse in Leo that we're about to have on August 12th this summer as well. So yeah, how are my Leos doing? Let me know. I'm very curious with this whole stellium opposing you within the 7th house. You're either probably triggered by other people or you're triggering them. Most likely there can be some obsessive behavior. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna go on the more negative side of Pluto Mars, but definitely there's a very big emphasis on marriage, on one-on-one close bonds, on intimate partnerships, on best friends, and all of that. But it's all squaring off with Uranus in the 10th, so it can cause a little bit of upheaval currently. So the 2nd house versus your sign, self versus the other. This is a very important storyline that gets kicked off here, because everything that happens now, this is like a sneak peek or an omen about what's to be fully unleashed whenever the eclipses are about to play out in your axis, the sign of Aquarius and Leo in the next year and a half. Starting from within 2 weeks, on the 17th of February, we have the first solar eclipse in your 7th house. So yeah, this can be a very big change by destiny that is about to come in. If you're single, you can meet someone. If you're together with someone, you might liberate yourself from that, depending on the aspect it makes in your own chart. So yeah, do your relationships reflect who you are, or actually who you've been trying to be? So do not try to be someone else for the sake of like keeping the peace. Whenever you have a full moon within your own sign, things can become quite emotional. And the 7th house relationships now with Pluto, there it is no longer passive. They are very big mirrors. They show you where you compromise, where you overextend yourself, where you shrink yourself to keep the peace, and where you need to grow stronger through intense connections and things being exposed within those realms as well with Pluto Mars right now. So yeah, intense energy affecting you. We know, as a Leo and me as a fellow fire sign, that a Leo identity, it cannot be negotiated. You are your brightest self. You are very confident. You like to shine as the star that you are. And now it's becoming very obvious who allows that and who is trying to steal your spotlight. Is maybe not the right word of, not the right wording, but who is detrimental to your sunshine and to your vitality and your life force. It's not only about being in the spotlight and wanting to be seen. You are a sign of courage and of speaking up and about celebration and having a good time. And with this whole stellium in the 7th house, it can become very obvious who likes to be in the same kind of energy and who isn't. So major theme about belonging here. Do your new connections encourage your growth? Do they celebrate your goals and ideas, or are they quietly pulling your energy away from your sense of direction or your sense of identity? Then you might need to sever ties here with Mars Pluto. This is really about purging toxicity within the 7th house realms. So because it's a full moon in your sign, it is about your personal goals and your desires and your ambitions. All of that comes into very sharp focus. And there is going to be an emotional pull towards becoming more visible or a bit more expressive, more roaring, more honest about what you want, who you are, what you want from other people, how they compliment you, how they drain your energy. So yeah, very big, like renewed commitment to your own path. It is your full moon. And it can also be, if you're a Leo rising, changes in your appearance, within your habits, maybe even your health. But a lot of emotional clarity erupting about what you want from your life and how you want it to look like and how your identity is tied towards that. But definitely with the opposition to Aquarius, this is about codependent patterns within relationships. They must be mutual, they must be supportive, and you need to have space. Aquarius is about freedom. So yeah, this is really a very big moment of self-recognition, and it's going to set the everything else into motion. over the next year and a half, relationships and your identity are about to evolve, shift, and change in a very dramatic way. Some are gonna end, some new ones are gonna arrive, and they're gonna match you better in who you're becoming right now. So do not freak out. This is about like claiming your presence, honoring your individuality, and leading with a lot of authenticity. So let me know how that's going for you guys, and I wish you a lot of good luck, my dear Leo. We have Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. The full moon in Leo is going to activate your 12th house. This is like the house of needing a little bit more rest, more sleep. It is about the subconscious, about self-sabotaging behavior. This your inner world, things from the past lives as well. And full moon opposes your 6th house. And look how jam-packed it is. And like, as a fellow Virgo rising, I like the 6th house. We have a lot of resonance towards the 6th house because in traditional astrology, Virgo belongs to the 6th house. But honestly, this is a lot. And also look at your Placidus chart, because I'm a late Virgo rising. A lot of it is still in the 5th house, so it changes a little bit, whole sign versus Placidus. So it pays off well to know your Placidus chart as well, and maybe listen at more than one signs. And I'm maybe going to have to clearly articulate that whenever I start my readings for the 12th signs, because I always tend to forget to mention that. But the stellium in the 6th house, obligations, work, routine, health, service towards others, fitness routine is also part of that, working out, productivity. This is going to be like a very major focus in the upcoming year and a half, because the eclipses are going to play out in those axes. So whatever happens now in the 12th during the full moon in Leo is going to be like some kind of precursor or an omen to what to come in the next couple of months. We might need to feel like we want to withdraw a little bit more here in the 12th house. It can also be about divine intervention. So the 12th house, it's also about loss and grief and feeling a little bit lost in space. But definitely, this is also about like charging the batteries. And it's necessary with this whole stellium in the 6th house, right? So yeah, if you crave more alone time or quiet time, it's normal, give into it. Otherwise, you're heading for burnout with this whole stellium in the 6th. Maybe you're going to feel less socially available, or maybe a little bit social anxiety, because it's like all too much right now, having to navigate and deal with a lot of stuff. You need to take time for emotional processing before you burn yourself out. This is also perfect energy to reconnect with your spiritual and your creative practices. This is really like the house of working behind the scenes, working in stillness and quietness, but it can definitely trigger some patterns from the past that can feel quite sensitive, honestly. So definitely an emotional full moon here. It is shining a very big spotlight at your unconscious patterns. So yeah, I know you guys excel at responsibility and your work and your routines and your service towards other people, but you also need to think a little bit more about yourself during this time. Are you giving more than you are replenishing right now? Are you scheduling productivity but not recovery? I'm so guilty of it right now. I'm just like thinking, oh, I have an open spot there in my schedule and there, and then I'm like, Astrid, you might need to calm down, because where are you going to have a fun time with the full moon in Leo? And fun time for us can just be like, okay, now everyone needs to leave us alone. We are not available for service towards other people. Now we are just going to listen to binaural beats. We are going to calm our nervous system. We're going to try not to think about work and just daydream, stare a bit at the wall, stop scrolling on your phone, do some kind of withdrawal, but in a healthy sense, not to escape. 12th house is also escapist tendencies, so be careful about that. Reconnect with your heart in a safe space with the full moon in the 12th house, and listen to the divine intervention. If something comes up and you're like, oh wow, man, this is not going the way that I was imagining. It might be the gods saving your ass during this time with full moon in your 12th house. So it has its pros and cons, and that also applies to the late Leo risings, which I've talked about on a very, very big on the world stage here earlier in my presentation. So Libra, sun, moon, or rising. So you're going to have a full moon in Leo lighting up your 11th house. And the 11th house is about your social networks, your communities, friendships, professional circles, the groups of people that you work with together at work, for example, but also what you contribute towards society. And it can also be about social media, because that is also part of the 11th house. So very powerful oppositions towards the 5th house. We have an entire Aquarius stellium that governs over creative self-expression, passion projects, joy, romance, children, things that are getting born within the 5th house. So Libras, are you falling in love? Are you meeting someone new through your friendships? Your friend groups, maybe they are introducing you towards a new potential partner. This can be a very, very happy time, actually, because the 11th house is very social and the 5th house as well, and your signs are like reversed, so there's like reversed emphasis on both houses. Normally the 5th house belongs to Leo and the 11th house to Aquarius. For you have a reversed chart, so yeah, there's like double emphasis on the Leo Aquarius axis. And be mindful that this year there is going to be a whole new set of eclipses playing out in this axis. So whatever happens now is like a precursor towards what is about to unfold later this year. So how much of yourself do you share in order to belong or to fit in? Where do you shrink yourself and keep yourself small to belong to some kind of group? And like, where do you hold back? You need to stop it. We know, my dear Libra, you are the peacekeeper. You are someone who likes of harmony, and do not shrink yourself to people please others. No, with this whole emphasis in the 5th house and a full moon in Leo, this is about being unapologetically yourself without being scared to not fit in anymore. If you get rejected by your friend groups, then they're not the right friends. And with the full moon in the 11th house, there can be a release of some kind of friend right now that is possible. Be sure that it will be replaced by someone who is going to be a like-minded individual of yourself. So do not freak out. This is really about also such a big contrast. It is about in the 5th what you love and what excites you and what makes you feel playful and alive. And it's regardless whether that's productive or like approved or like useful to other people. And there is like a push and pull between that right now. So you might share in an online space some of your new creative project. You might be stepping into a leadership role within a group. You might be getting recognized for your ideas and contributions, or you might simply feel called to take up more space in a social setting, and it's going to be rewarding. So the important one here is why you are showing up, because when your visibility is fully rooted within your own authenticity and not in regards to like approval seeking tendencies with Leo, then it's going to become very energizing, this whole set of eclipses, instead of draining. So put yourself out into the world, definitely also with Jupiter in your 10th house. It's going to come direct by the beginning of March, but still it's reviewing a lot of things within your career space, but you can really go out and network, and that is going to be beneficial to your career as well with Jupiter there. So you also know that like your greatest impact, it's going to come off when you bring your full heart within your room or within your friend groups, and not when you edit yourself to fit into a room. The South Node is going to enter Leo soon, so we all need to stop doing that. Good luck, my dear Libra. We have Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. You're going to have a full moon in the 10th house. So very, very visible and public placement. Leo is already very visible and public, but the 10th house makes it even more visible and public. So excuse me, 10th house, it is about career, reputation, leadership, authority, your long-term goals, what you are actually trying to leave behind. It's also about your legacy here in the world. And then we see this opposing stellium in your 4th house. So guys, are you going through some drama at home? Maybe some drama with your mother? That could very well be the case, honestly. If your family members are agitating or frustrating you, you might need to reclaim some of your lost power. Be sure not to fan the flames with passive aggressiveness or getting out a stinger in regards to family situations, because both of your chart rulers are on top of each other in the 4th house. Let me know how you guys are doing with that. That is intense. Definitely about patterns of upbringing. Definitely being confronted about some nasty behavior of certain family members. Can also be about some dark tendencies of your mother that are being exposed. If it's not the case, then you're very lucky. I know quite a few late Libra risings and also early Scorpio risings who are going through a tough time at home right now. So I'm really hoping you are not going to be one of that. So what is your public life built on, and does it actually support your private foundation at home? And something is being released. The 4th house, family roots, emotions, and this is becoming like a very major storyline for the next year and a half to almost up to 2 years, the beginning of 2028 even. So yeah, this is like, you might feel called to step into greater visibility, and also whatever's going on at home, focus on your career. Maybe with the full moon in the 10th, you can have recognition, promotion, a very big new step in your career, definitely about to get highlighted during the summer with the solar eclipse in Leo here as well. And on February the 14th, we have an eclipse in the 4th house. So the energy is already kicking in. Not easy for you guys having it in an angular house at the bottom of the chart. It is a very intense placement. So definitely also triggering the need for a better work-life balance. And this is really about also emotional or family matters that require a lot of attention before you can actually fully step forward within your career. Do not let the family drama block you from rising in your career. That is the most important one. And also, do not escape and become a workaholic so you do not have to be confronted with everything that's going on at home. If you lean too much into one of the polarizing signs, then it's going to backlash either way. So it's about really rebalancing that right now. But there's a very big desire to redefine what success and also success within your family actually means to you, and how that's being celebrated or ignored or denied in some kind of way. And you just like heading out for yourself on your own. That could also be the case, but it's only for a small amount of Scorpio risings. But yeah, you guys are going to need to inform me on what's going on within your 4th house. This is really about authority, the 10th, with like emotions within the 4th. This is like the mother and the father axis. They are like a little bit in conflict with one another here. And there is definitely a very big emphasis on the parents during this time. Maybe you're going to become a parent on your own, of your own, with a partner, of course, can be on your own. The fact that I'm saying it like this, maybe that's going to resonate for some of you Scorpios. Very big changes, unexpected upheaval, secrets coming out in regards to family matters. So yeah, this is quite the intensity. Celebrate yourself, celebrate your tradition. Very long recalibration is about to kick off between your inner security and your outer ambition. So good luck with that, my dear Scorpio. We have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're going to have the full moon in the 9th house. So very positive, my dear Sagittarius. It's in a fellow fire sign, and it's trining your Sun, Moon, or Rising. And it's actually within your 9th house. It is the traditional house of Sagittarius. So this is a very positive full moon for you, my dear Sagittarius. But still, the intensity within the third house. Let me know how you're doing with all of that. It can be a lot to actually deal with right now. So the ninth house, it is about expansion, higher learning, worldview, your belief systems, wisdom, travel, teaching, publishing, finding meaning in life, connecting with people who have a different cultural background than your own. That can be massively highlighted. And of course, the emphasis here is also very strongly on the third house, which actually governs your day-to-day environment, the way how you communicate. It's also about your learning and how you process that, your local connections, local environment or community, and also your mental habits. There is such a big emphasis on talking, on expressing yourself. You can have so many sudden insights. This whole Aquarius stellium in your third, my God, this is about like liberating insights, liberating yourself from stuck mental patterns, really being able to tap into the ether. Also with Neptune now in the fifth house trining your sign, there is like a whole new ether forming, and you can really feel it on your nervous system and when you're within your thinking process, and a lot of things are being revealed to you or becoming clear in some kind of way, and it can be a lot. Luckily we have Neptune trine you, and the moon also trine you, and the whole Aquarius stellium is actually sextiling you. So actually quite positive. I think you're gonna have a way easier time dealing with these changes than, for example, Scorpio. So yeah, let me know how you guys are doing with it, because this is really like integrating all of the experiences into wisdom, and strongly also here supporting this full moon, your teaching, your publishing, sharing your ideas. If you've been going to school or university or doing some kind of study, you can get a degree, you can like accomplish something within like higher education here in the ninth house as well. Very good energy to take on a new course, become a teacher and sharing your knowledge, writing, podcasting, creating content, emails, phone calls, busyness, doing errands, neighbors, siblings can all ask more attention of you. So be sure not to let you overwhelm, not to let them overwhelm you. You might need to draw some new boundaries within your local environment with all of this third house stellium going on here. But you're actually really learning also through doing and not just thinking alone, and your beliefs here are really evolving because of all of your real world experiences. This is uncharted territory, with all of the planets shifting and being so close to one another. This is actually a very special time. So let me know how you're doing with it, my dear Sag, because this is putting the spotlight on bigger picture thinking and also everyday communication. And I know you excel at higher wisdom and bigger picture thinking. And maybe you're going to plan a travel. Maybe you are traveling right now. Maybe you return from a travel. But definitely it's also about expanding consciousness, and your whole software inside of your brain is getting like a massive boost here in the third and the ninth house axis. Yeah, you have like a whole new, you're clearing out the bugs, and there's a whole new software system being installed here on your hard disk, your freedom-loving, bigger picture hard disk. So let me know how you are doing with that, my dear Sag, and I wish you good luck. We have Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You're gonna have the full moon and Leo in your 8th house. So the house of intensity. This is one of the most complex and transformative areas of the chart. And the 8, it is about shared resources and intimacy and trust. It's also about deep soul bonding, merging, vulnerability, psychological depth, the ways your life actually becomes intertwined with others, whether that's emotionally, financially, sexually, or spiritually. It's all about entanglements. But it's also about debts, loans, taxes, inheritances, joint finances, but also especially about like the deep karmic emotional bonds that actually require a lot of deep, deep trust. So yeah, interesting full moon, dear Capricorn. And then with the entire Aquarius stellium in the second house, that is about your personal values, your self-worth, your income, your skills and talents, and also your sense of security. So this can really kick off a whole set of new streams of income. Maybe you're seeing an increase in finances. Maybe you can see an increase in things that you're really needing to pay for. There can be investments and profiting off of them. You can make new investments and later then profit off of them. I know, Capricorn, you are here for the long term. You're not here for short-term satisfaction. You can really like put in the weight and have a lot of patience. And I like that. I am an Aries, I do not have a lot of patience, and sometimes I wish you could give me like a bit of that. But definitely the second house is also about your skills and your talents. So really own in on them. Maybe you're going to develop new strategies. Maybe you're going to develop your skills more fully, and by that creating a new stream of income can definitely be about positive news. Also, be mindful that we're going to have the new set of eclipses kicking off within this axis as well. So just like Cancer, you are the sign this year and actually until the beginning of 2028 that is about to have eclipses within the financial axis. So eclipses, they are fate accelerators. A very big change is about to come. Make sure to look at your own chart. Does it make squares? Does it make trines? That's going to be a whole big difference. Some of you are going to have a very big increase in money. Others of you, on February the 17th, we have the first solar eclipse in Aquarius. It is connected to the financial crisis of 2008. So some of you are going to have upheaval. It depends on your own personal chart, but I'm just like already giving you a heads up about that. So where does your sense of security come from? And also how much of it is in your own hands? It is also about the give and take axis and about codependency and being afraid to fully merge and bond. And something within that is about to shift dramatically over the next year and a half, 2 years. So this is really about vulnerability without self-abandonment, and it's about allowing closeness and collaboration and emotional depth while also trusting yourself to adapt if that situation were to change unexpectedly. Because the second house here, it is in Aquarius. It can also be about technology, AI, implementing new technology systems within technology that can help you streamline your finances. Maybe AI or ChatGPT can answer one of your questions in regards to investments, even though I'm not a big fan of that. Consult a financial advisor or astrologer before you make any big moves. But definitely, it is also about sudden new ideas. You can also have a lot of new insight about your self-worth, and you've been challenged in that right now with the Pluto-Mars conjunction in the second house. So do not let other people in the 8th house drain your energy here. Be sure that the give and take axis is fully balanced. So recalibrating security, trust, and shared power. This is like the most important thing that you need to know here. So let me know how you guys are doing and good luck. We have Aquarius and moon or rising. You're going to have the full moon in your opposing sign. And my dear Aquarius, let me know how you are doing with the Aquarian stellium. I heard so many crazy stories, also positive stories, but most of them were like really shocking. And I'm not going to go over them, of course, but let me know how this stellium is affecting you, because this is a lot to deal with. And I'm not gonna lie, it can be very uncomfortable. It can be about shocks and surprises, and just know that in the end, it's about liberation. And sometimes you lose something and you think it's the end of the world, and a couple of months later, you're actually grateful that you lost it. Even if it shook like the whole foundation of your security, it is actually in the end about liberation. And it's like a very big cosmic push about new insights, about some upheaval that is just like necessary for your whole reformation process, and by that forming a whole new identity. So yeah, major transformation is currently happening right now. It is the axis of yourself versus the other in the seventh. And the next year and a half, 2 years, the new set of eclipses is about to kick off, is kicking off. Within that axis, on February the 17th, we have the first eclipse within your sign. Right now, Mercury is about to square Uranus. After that comes Venus along, Sun, and later Mars. They're all about to kick off and square with Uranus in the 4th house. There can definitely be some upheaval within the family or within regards to your children. Yeah, this is like very big revolutionary energy. Your emotions, you cannot keep them under control anymore. It's like a volcano, and everything just comes out, especially with Mars Pluto. And it's about power games, guys. You need to be extra mindful, but do not use your power in an unbalanced way, or you're gonna get severe karmic retributions. Be careful. This is kind of tense. Do not drive whenever you feel mad. You might need to fight a pillow, fight it out in the bedroom. Find a healthy channel to, find a healthy outlet to channel the hot burnt energy of Mars and Pluto here. Otherwise, it's going to manifest in severe conflict with other people or severe conflict with your inner self. You can be your own worst enemy. Do not be that right now. But the biggest question here is like, do your relationships actually reflect who you are becoming? Or are they reflecting who you used to be? Because you are totally transforming right now, and like the ordinary is not going to be enough anymore. You are here to shed immense layers. And like, how crazy is it that like the year of the snake ends on the same day we have the solar eclipse in your sign of Aquarius, squaring off with Uranus, your ruler, squaring you on top of that. Yeah, this is like the final big push of Uranus, about to station direct into Taurus on February the 4th as well, creating just upheaval and instability. It is what it is. It is the universe right now. It is destined. And if you do not feel like you are unstable, it can just be some pleasant surprises also that come off from this full moon. It can even be the surprise of someone new coming into your life on a very close one-on-one long-term commitment here in the 7th. So yeah, 7th house and Leo there. It is about warmth, loyalty, encouragement, passion, open-hearted communication. Be sure not to act too cold or too detached to them. Aquarius is more easier to detach from the emotions. That is not a good or bad thing. It is just a team that is here for you. But Leo, it is, this pride, it is confident, it wants to be seen, applauded, celebrated. And if you're going to be too focused on yourself right now with this whole Aquarius stellium, and you're going to be too cold and too detached, then they're going to feel violated in some kind of way, or they can feel triggered by that immensely. So take that into account. I know you're very, very busy in creating a whole new path for yourself, but make some time to have fun with your partner or your very close friends. Celebrate them as well. Do not take up the entire space with Pluto Mars here, but also do not let others take up the entire space. This is about balancing that out in a very healthy way. So yeah, be honest about your needs and be willing to ask for support, because you're going to get it here with the moon in the 7th house. Can also bring a new business relationship. That will also be beneficial. But it's definitely like a very big moment of aligned collaboration and relationships that need to be based on mutual respect and shared vision. They are going to become like very big catalysts rather than constraints right now. So yeah, can you feel authentic and still feel like you belong? Can you partake in all of these connections, and do they energize you? Do they drain you? Is there room for both people to grow within the connection. That is going to be of utmost importance and going to be the big theme in the next year and a half up to 2 years. So let me know how you're doing with that. Good luck, my dear Aquarius. Then we have Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. You are going to have the full moon in Leo, and it's going to land into your 6th house. So the 6th house, it is the house of health, well-being, your work life, your office where you operate within, your daily routine, your health habits, how you manage your energy on a day-to-day level. So think about your sleeping rhythms, or like how are you guys dealing with your sleeping routines? There is a massive Aquarius stellium within your 12th house of the bedroom. And this is also the house of the astral projections, like the astral realms, astral travel, all of that. There can be breakthroughs within your dreams right now. You can have very big, intense, and important omens, synchronicities. Also a bit more prone towards nightmares with Sun, Mars, Pluto in your 12th house. So have you been noticing that? There is like some kind of fight with your own self and your own subconscious going on right now here. The 12th house, it is a very big hidden inner part of the chart. It is about private rest, sleep, spiritual, psychological processes, solitude, dreams, final endings. It is material that is lingering under the surface, and material that you don't always talk about out loud. But now it can become quite loud with the opposition of the moon in the 6th house. Yeah, there is like, it is not only about like get your routines together or get your productivity in order. There is a very big preview here going on of a much longer, big long-term story. There is going to be ongoing tension here because the new set of eclipses is about to play off here in the 6th and the 12th house. There's very big polarity between service and your inner sanctuary, between productivity and your solitude, between your mental health, the 12th, and your physical health, the 6th. So this is really about balancing that out. And Leo in the 6th house, it wants a daily life that feels alive, very alive and joyful and being seen. And if your routines are a little bit monotone, how do you say it in English? Monotonous? I think that's correct, but when they are overly demanding, then the full moon is really gonna shine a very, very big spotlight on that and on all the systems that have lost a lot of warmth, joy, visibility, and motivation. And something needs to be released. Otherwise, it's gonna have a negative effect on your self-sabotage. It's going to have a negative effect on your mental health patterns. And by that, self-sabotage might get triggered with Pluto, Mars, Sun here in your 12th house. So yeah, if you want to procrastinate, maybe you need to do it. If you feel like that, it is not laziness, it is emotional depletion with the whole Aquarius stellium in your 12th house. And when your inner sanctuary is overstimulated, overloaded, then your body, it's going to rebel against like one more task. And then it's not a fault, it is not self-sabotaging behavior, it is a signal of the body and the subconscious. So if your routine has no joy, then your nervous system will start to refuse it. And it is going to be a very, very big theme over the next year and a half, up to 2 years. So instead of forcing yourself harder, ask yourself, like, what would make my day-to-day life feel more meaningful? Where can I inject more joy? Be careful with your health. It is the house of health. Leo rules the heart, but also the back and the shoulders, like especially the lower back. And if you have stress, it really is going to attack those parts of you. So do heart coherence. It's like a breathing method. It's going to help you with all of the energy in the 12th house, as the 12th house is ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarius is an air sign. The 6th house is the house of stress. It is the house of bad fortune. I have a whole packed stellium in the 6th house. I know all about it. So do not freak out. You're only having a full moon there, but still those patterns and those themes can be triggered. So do not let that overwhelm you. Be careful also for cycles of burnout, because you are so sensitive. You naturally absorb so many spheres. You know what's going on in the ether. You feel other people's emotions so strongly, and their moods, their needs, their expectations of you, and it can become too much. Your nervous system is now probably revolting quite strongly, and it's saying enough is enough. And with the full moon, there is a release. So you can release bad habits or things that are keeping you stuck in this loop. So yeah, you can look at it from a very positive way and really shed and like stop a lot of self-sabotaging behavior and habits that are not contributional towards your health and well-being. So yeah, build recovery into your daily systems and do it step by step. Small changes can have a very big ripple effect. So where are you actually overserving people who do not pour back enough into your own cup? You need to fill your own cup with this whole 12th stellium. So fix your sleep, reorganize your schedule, change your workflow, and recommit to like a healthy practice. Or you might need to build in a little bit more alone time. Good luck, my dear Pisces. So thank you all so much for being here with me today. This is a very spectacular time. There is so much more that I could say about it, but I'm gonna keep it at this for today, and I will be back soon with another video, probably about the week ahead. On Sunday, February the 1st, I'm also gonna do my monthly overview. So if you want to get notified, you can hit the bell button below so you receive a notification whenever I upload new videos. So then you get alarmed whenever I do that. So thank you guys also much for staying with me here today and for being part of this beautiful community. I appreciate each and every one of you very, very much. So make time for joy, make time for the things that make your heart sing, tap into love, tap into your heart chakra, celebrate other people, take on the stage for yourself if you feel called for it, and just like have a good time and focus on the things that make you feel good and that are giving you a lot of joy in your life. So thank you all so much. Bye-bye.